Hi, welcome to my live. I'm Erin McGuire, owner of Pure Light Wellness, women's empowerment coach and healer. And today I wanted to give you a video about if you are a highly sensitive person, empath, um, light worker, or just you kind of consider yourself to be a sensitive person, then a lot of times I see that type of person struggling with confidence. And I'm going to get into that today, what those struggles are and how to kind of turn them around. So if that's you, give me a thumbs up or a heart because you are in the right place. That's me. And I know that type well. And I'm here to help you really get empowered and feel worthy and live from divine alignment with who you are. So I feel a little out of breath, like I just ran a marathon. Um, so also, too, I wanted to share that I'll be leaving a really big secret at the end of this video that a lot of people don't realize when it comes to confidence and how to build that. So definitely stick around and watch for that. The number one thing that you're doing if you're feeling like you struggle with confidence is you're probably beating yourself up a lot. So the internal dialogue is negative. There's probably a lot of self-doubt going on. You're letting yourself kind of get stuck in that. Maybe you're hating a certain part of your body and you don't look in the mirror because you don't like the way that you look. It could be around, moving forward in your life and in your business or in your career, feeling like you're not good enough. And there's kind of just this cycle of being really hard on yourself. That's a really big common trait for people that are lacking confidence. And it's fixable. That's the good news, right? But it takes some concentrated effort. And so you're going to turn that around by really honing in on what are those negative beliefs you're playing in your mind? What's the internal dialogue that's going on? Because every time you let that run, and it becomes a habit. So if we've done it long enough, it's going to become a habit and you're not sometimes even going to notice it. So that's why the first step is really just being aware of it, maybe writing those things out if you notice that you're doing that on a piece of paper so that you can really start to change that internal dialogue. The second thing that people that are lacking confidence do is there's an obsession with being perfect. Now, you might not fit into all of these categories, but these are common things that we're doing if there's a lack of confidence going on. So, obsessed with being perfect. Perfectionism usually comes from, and all of these things for that matter, come from this deep core belief that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough. So, for somebody like myself, that was a common one for me. I had to prove myself because I internally did not feel like I was good enough or worthy of what I wanted. I really had this desire from an early age. I can remember being super competitive even as young as like 5 or 6, like at card games. I always had to be the best and I would cry and flip out if I wasn't. And that just got deeper and worse as I got older. So school was a constant competition to get good grades, be the best in sports, and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people might say that's really positive, but in my case, and what a lot of people I'm seeing, my clients, that there's this underlying belief that I have to prove myself because I don't believe that I'm good enough. And a lot of times we're just trying to prove ourselves to ourselves. So turning perfectionism around is a little bit tougher of one, but it's setting realistic expectations for yourself. So understanding that you're not going to be the best at everything. And, understanding too that like what if you only did this much, or are you going to be good enough if you did XYZ versus completing the whole thing. I'm thinking of an example here, like writing a book, you know, um, instead of just thinking like it has to be perfect all the time or that you have to write this certain amount each time. What if are you going to be happy if you wrote 3 pages instead of the 20 or the 10? So that's just kind of a vague example, but you can plug that in for whatever it is that you struggle with perfectionism around. But that's a big one. And so really setting those realistic expectations for yourself. The third thing is comparing yourself to others. Ooh, this is a big one. This is a doozy. Give me a thumbs up if that's something that you struggle with. I mean, who doesn't compare themselves to others, right? That is the epitome of social media. And it's, as we all know, or maybe you've heard, it's the comparison is the thief of joy. So it's taking you out of the present moment. It's taking away your happiness. It's taking away your joy every time you compare. And you get to, put yourself down a little bit each time too. So you get to re-emphasize that belief that you're not good enough because see, this person's so much better. Look at that person. Look how good they're doing. Oh my gosh, look at so-and-so. She's so happy. Why can't I be happy? Or whatever the story is you're telling yourself, you get to re-emphasize the belief that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough. If I was, my life would look like that. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible pattern to be in. And so it comes, how do we override that? That one takes a little bit more time. We've got to learn to embody our own worthiness. We can't just simply walk around saying, I am good enough, I am worthy. Like, that's really lovely. I love positive self-talk and mantras. I use them in my day-to-day life. But if that's all you're doing, you're probably not going to see the results you want. Why? Because the conscious mind is what you're working with when you're saying those things. I am good enough. I am good enough. That's awesome. The conscious mind is like, yes, we are good enough. And the subconscious doesn't even hear what you're saying. And in the subconscious is where that pattern of not good enough, not worthy enough is living. So it takes more concentrated efforts and rewiring of the brain to get into the subconscious. So there's rewiring that has to happen. This is why action is the best way to create a change in your life, by taking action and positive thinking. That you have to turn your thoughts around, but you've got to take the action steps or you're not going to see the results. And we often get stuck in resistance, so that's why we don't take the action steps. Hey, if it were easy to live your dream life, don't you think we'd all be doing it? It's not easy. It takes a lot of courage. It takes being willing to let go of things. It takes rewiring your brain and changing habits and patterns you may have had for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. So it takes courage to create the life that you want. But it's very possible. Okay, let's get on to number 3. So number 1, you're beating yourself up a lot. Number 2, you're obsessed with being perfect. Number 3, you're comparing yourself to others. Number 4, people pleasing. We all know this isn't going to get us what we desire, right? So a lot of the women that I work with struggle with people pleasing. They're really good about giving to everybody else. They're all things to all people, but they're not giving to themselves. They're last on the list. And then they wonder why they're burnout, exhausted, resentful, and not living in a way that feels in alignment with them. So underneath again, all of these things is this deep feeling of not being worthy. So it's really about embodying your worthiness, stepping into that. How do we turn around people pleasing, learning to say no, setting boundaries with people, setting powerful boundaries, using that little word no that a lot of my clients they're scared to use, and being selfish sometimes. So being willing to take time out for yourself, being willing to put your needs first, even before your family's, because let's be real, we can't really give to our children, to our spouses, to our loved ones, to our clients, to the world around us, if we ourselves are trying to give from an empty cup. So that's when we're exhausted and burnt out and wondering why things aren't working the way that we want. So we gotta be willing to be selfish and fill ourselves up first, because then when we go to give to those people we love, it's gonna come from such a full, pure, awesome place, and they're gonna receive in a whole different way. And then the last step is, as we've been talking about throughout the video, unworthiness. So again, underneath all of this stuff is this pattern of feeling unworthy, feeling not good enough, feeling insignificant. It's kind of all the same thing. It's a really icky, yucky vibration, and it's one that I've had to reprogram in myself because of what I've been through growing up and all of that kind of stuff. So there's reasons why that belief is there in the first place. It's a primary fear, a core primary belief within that gets locked in the subconscious, and it's how we start to kind of live out our lives. So in my case, I would sabotage many different things in my life. You know, when things would start going well, I'd kind of sabotage that because deep down I didn't feel worthy enough or deserving of that thing, whatever it was, be it a relationship, finances, career, etc. And so when I really started to embody my worth, heal the past, that step actually comes first. Understand where that unworthiness story comes from, how to heal it through what I call emotional empowerment work. So really tapping into those feelings and healing them by going through them. And letting those emotions be whatever they are, like not beating ourselves up because we're feeling a certain way, but allowing our feelings to move through us and acknowledging them and validating them, because oftentimes as children, we didn't have that. Learning to love yourself for who you are, all the flaws, all the imperfections, and all the beautiful things too. Loving all parts of yourself and just like owning it. Like, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and not in like a, you know, we don't have to be rude about it and like walk around and be in people's face. It's just like, it's an energy that you carry that just says, this is me. I've got some scars, you know, I've had some shit happen to me in the past, and this is me. And I healed through it, and now this is me, and I, you know, I love myself just the way that I am. So it's really embodying who you are and knowing your worth from like a deep inner core place and living through that, living out of that, and stepping into your worth, feeling empowered. So what is my big secret about confidence? A lot of people think that confidence is a trait that people are either born with or they're not. And I want to tell you that that's not true. That confidence is actually a skill, and you can build it by taking action. So whatever that thing is, I want you to, like, after this video, pause it right now, write down what's like that one thing that you really want in your life, that you really want to shift or change or do, and you've kind of been avoiding it. Write that thing out, and then write 1 or 5 or 10 action steps that you have to do to start to move yourself towards that goal. And then you're going to take one of those action steps today or this week to begin to rewire yourself for more confidence and for taking action towards what you want. Every time you start to take action, even if it feels scary, and you guys, I have had near panic attacks doing some of these actions that I set out to do. I've had anxiety. So much resistance comes up when we're about to make a change in our life. It feels scary. We don't want to do it. But every time you do, it's like you prove to yourself, look what I just did. If I can do that, what else can I do? What else have I been stopping myself from doing? So that is the biggest secret to confidence, that it's a skill, not a trait, and that you build it by taking action. So in the link to this video, there is a free Worthy Woman toolkit that I would love to gift you. It's free, and you just click on that link. You're going to get my self-confidence affirmations, my alignment affirmations that will power charge you up. You can listen to those, you can say them with me as I'm saying them, and you're going to get some videos on how to build confidence. So it's a little confidence challenge that I did. So I would love for you to grab that just by clicking that link. And then also I have a confidence workshop for women that's coming up September 5th. It's a 2-hour online workshop with me live, and we're going to work through some of these points in detail. So grab that freebie. If you want to sign up for my workshop, send me a message. I'll send you a link on how to do that. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with anybody that you feel like could really use a little boost in confidence. That's what we're here to do, to get you just aligned, stepping into your empowerment, feeling confident in yourself, and really owning your worth. Because the world needs you to step up, shine your light, and share your gifts. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you again really soon.